All right, and 3, 2, 1. Welcome to TechTalks. I'm Victor. Oh, we didn't position ourselves in the center.
This way.
This way, yeah.
Okay. Now we're good?
Yep. We could, we should bring you up actually a little bit. You wanna stand up real fast?
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's as high as it goes. That's awkward.
Well, I will be fine. I'm fine. We're good.
Okay, so today we are going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 reveal.
Ooh.
We're gonna go over we're gonna watch it because neither of us has watched it at this point.
I didn't actually even know, honestly, that this was happening or coming out until yesterday when he was like, so for Tech Talks this week, are we gonna do a reaction? And I learned more about it.
Yeah.
As far as that it's happening, and that's all I know.
So we know the Xbox Series X, which is different than the Xbox One X, is the new Xbox coming out at the end of the year. And now this is the PlayStation that's coming out at the end of the year.
Okay.
On top of the PlayStation reveal of what it looks like, they're also showing off the games that are going to be coming out before it.
Okay.
And I've had a couple spoilers on that end, but I won't say anything. We will just get into it, and we'll put this little doodad up. And for those that are just listening to the podcast on like thing, I'll kind of comment on what's taking place on screen, okay?
Okay. I've never done this before or anything like this.
I think it's just your reaction, so what you think.
Okay, alright, yes.
Alright.
I'll try. Well, inappropriate for children.
Some content.
Contains mature content that may not be suitable for all audiences.
So we have a giant white cube that starts...
Definitely not a companion cube.
No. Starts changing colors, variations of blue, and
triangles
forming
revealed.
into a triangle, yeah.
Oh, this one's looking like a curve, like a slice of melon.
Some sort of artsy kind of CGI render.
This is all just visuals so far, isn't it?
Yeah.
From the presentation. An X. So we've had this.
Oh, it's showing. It's
each of the symbols.
Yeah, the PlayStation symbol.
Mhm. And the square is the last one. Wow, they're really taking their time with this, these visuals.
Yep. This is their big reveal.
Okay. Now let's get to the information.
Oh, the original Sony symbol.
1994, 2000.
No.
Can you hear it?
No. Is that God of War?
That's God of War.
No, they're just showing clips of all different kinds of games.
Old versions of the games, though.
Racing. Okay, so these are just games that you can play on the old PlayStation.
Yeah, Little Big Planet, Horizon, God of War, the new one. They had God of War 3 previously.
I recognize several God of War clips.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a pretty epic visual. Oh, Last of Us. I still need
We're probably going to be playing that soon.
I need to. Hey, and I have
Together, we
some
were
time this summer.
for something great.
Oh, Uncharted. I also want to play
Uncharted.
those games. PlayStation. Okay.
Why did
Rocks.
I move here? I guess it was the weather. Or
So
the-
is Rockstar part of PlayStation 4, or they just partner together? Because now they're talking about Grand Theft Auto. Right?
Yeah, they're just partnering with PlayStation about PlayStation 5 titles that are coming.
Okay.
So this is Grand Theft Auto 5. Looks like it's going to be coming to PlayStation 5. They have PS4 in their top corner, though.
And 5 is the Grand Theft Auto that's already out, or is that
Yes.
the next? Okay, that is the one that's already out.
There we go.
Okay, they're just saying it's gonna be coming to PlayStation 5.
It seems to be, but again, they have the PlayStation 4 at the top. So.
Oh, so this is more maybe of just like the historical, not anything. Because they're not even saying anything. It's just like a flashback before you.
Yeah, it's just showing all the
guess.
places or all the Grand Theft Auto 5 with all the DLC. It's mostly the online portion that they're showing off, not the main story game. With the casino and everything.
Just sort of smash things.
The Arena Wars.
So now what?
Oh, there's the story. Expanded and enhanced. Coming to PlayStation 5. So it is coming to PlayStation 5 is what they're saying here.
And apparently expanded. So PlayStation 5 owners will get a GTA Online free at launch. Starting today, GTA 5 PS4 owners get $1 million in GTA cash every month until GTA 5 PlayStation 5
Launches in 2020. Or was it 2020 or 2021? I think GTA 5 might be launching in 2021 for PS5. But now, Grand Theft Auto, people are gonna bought Grand Theft Auto on the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PC, and PlayStation 5.
Just some of the
Kind of
seminal
crazy.
moments of the last 25 years.
3
What better way
generations
to
of
bridge our
consoles
past and our
that
future
released
than with a
on.
game that's graced every PlayStation console,
That's,
Grand
I
Theft
mean,
Auto. It's been a
buying it more
privilege
than once.
partnering with Rockstar Games for many years now.
I would be
And we're
frustrated.
thrilled to open today with the news that that partnership will continue with PlayStation 5. It's now just over a year.
Who is
since
this,
we
the
began
president and
sharing
CEO
technical
of?
details of PlayStation 5.
I didn't hear
But
because
today's
they
the
kind
day
of
that
talked
we've been looking forward to.
I wonder
for
if it was
years.
Rockstar.
When we
No,
get
he
to
said
show
they're
you
glad that they
just some of the
partnered with
games that
Rockstar.
demonstrate
Oh, must be
our
of
belief that
PlayStation.
It's, yeah,
PlayStation
Sony
unlocks
guy.
the biggest generational transition our industry has yet seen. The content we've curated for today's event showcases how PS5 has inspired developers to create new experiences that are transformative in how they look, sound, and feel. Enough from me. We're going to have the games do our talking.
Footage is from this point forward being shown on PS5.
So it was
capture.
captured through actually playing on the PS5.
Sometimes. Like
Isn't
this
that what it
wasn't-
just said?
Yes, but this is still a render, right? Like this isn't gameplay.
Hero's just someone who doesn't
It
give
does
up.
look that way. Unless it is like from a cinematic scene.
It's a
in
cinematic
game.
scene from the game, probably. Yeah,
He was right.
but that's not what people really
Now
want to
it's your
see.
turn.
But it's Spider-Man,
Go be a
Miles
hero.
Morales.
Oh!
Okay, let's do this.
Oh, that looks bad.
So it looks like the new Spider-Man game, but instead of Peter Parker, you're Miles Morales. It seems to be the same developer that did the Spider-Man for PS4.
It looks.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other one looked really cool, so. Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Holiday 2020.
Holiday. Very specific.
Today I'd like to share with everyone some information about the new
Gran
Gran
Turismo
Turismo
that we are very excited about.
I think this new Gran Turismo
Should make fans very happy.
Especially with the campaign mode.
It should be something fun to look forward to. Alright, so we've got a racing game coming up, it sounds like.
Gran Turismo's iconic PlayStation racing game.
These look like some high-tech buttons for a car. some pretty fancy.
Yeah. So far, no actual gameplay of both Spider-Man and...
It's really just cinematics, yeah. It's just showing cars. Gran Turismo is back.
They are doing some in-shots of inside the car, but it still doesn't seem like
it is more just like the aesthetic of the game than the actual game or gameplay.
Exactly.
I like that they show driving backwards because you know how good we all are at that. It is cool, I will admit. It's cool
here's
to
some
watch.
gameplay.
Okay, so there's a map.
You have a home screen where you can adjust your car, change car. Get to look at the interior of it. Man, they really want you to... Oh, here's some gameplay of the driving from inside the car. I mean, if you've played any racing game ever, you will know what this looks like. It's from inside the car.
You know what is interesting? I noticed that I don't see very much on racing games is though they have the full map in the top right corner, and then in the bottom right corner they have just like a smaller section right where you are, so you can like kind of see. Oh, I am making a left turn next, and it's kind of navigating and moving the map along with you, whereas the static map in the top right corner just stays in the same orientation. So I kind of like that, like having the course map that is right ahead of you to the lower right. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, it does look like they have a lot of detail that on settings you might be able to change. Like it looks like the auto brake system you can turn off and on because it has like the light showing there. Or not just light, but there's a UI there for. So you might be able to do a lot of adjustments for the cars in the race.
Kind of.
Looks
Bug,
like
was that a ladybug?
Yeah, it looks like a different world.
Uh-huh. Some kind of fantasy game.
Yeah. Oh, it's oh man, Jack and Dexter.
Jack and Dexter. I've
Or
never heard of
Ratchet
that.
and Clank. Sorry.
Ratchet and Clank. Okay.
Jack.
On one another.
Jack and Dexter was pre-Ratchet and Clank.
Right. The ship. I mean, we can't be that far.
Is this a kids game?
Yes. Very much along the lines of Crash Bandicoot used to be. It's made by, if I believe it correctly, it's made by Naughty Dog, which also is the Uncharted series people.
Ooh, he switched between worlds through a portal pretty quickly there. Oh,
Yeah.
and again.
I can't tell if this is gameplay or if this is cinematic, though. The transition between worlds seems very cinematic, but it does seem like
Like you would be able to do that.
yeah, like you are, like once he's landed on something, it seems like he's in the game.
Beats me.
Yeah. I mean, the visuals are really epic looking.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Lots of neat different worlds.
So it looks
it
like it's a
shows.
third person over the shoulder, very much like they are called Jack and Dexter.
And is it a looter shooter or what is this?
They're action adventures, oftentimes platformers. So very much like Crash Bandicoot, but they're bigger levels. They're more of an adventure than they are platform.
Okay. So, okay, I don't know the platform, but the adventure, obviously, like an adventure.
Platforming is like jumping over things and trying to like jump over ledges and cliffs.
That makes
and
sense.
things.
Like
That's
a platform. That makes sense. I'd never heard that term used before, though.
Hi, I'm Marcus Smith, creative director at Insomniac Games. The entire studio is so excited to be able to share with you a first ever look at Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, a
Rift
brand
Apart.
new, full-length, interdimensional adventure built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5. We're doing things we've never been able to do before, like use dimensional rifts to be able to leap from planet to planet nearly instantly, or put ray trace reflections on Clank. All of our alien worlds are filled with density and life previously unseen. Plus, Ratchet's all-new arsenal is more exciting than ever thanks to the DualSense controller's enhanced feedback. Ratchet and Clank are near and dear to our hearts at Insomniac, and we can't wait to share more with you in the future.
Oh, it's Insomniac
For now,
that's doing it.
here's
Not
another
Insomniac, I believe, is doing also the Spider-Man game.
Did you see that?
Okay, so to go through that portal, he like shot out some kind of anchor and then pulled himself through a portal.
Yeah.
And then he can immediately start fighting, it looks like. Health collected. Okay.
It's Ratchet and Clank.
Sand sharks.
So it looks like portals are kind of popping up everywhere, and then
You can, yeah.
he's fighting the things coming out of it, but it looks like he's utilizing the portals. I'm sure at some point in the game he'll be able to make the portals.
I would think.
Was that a kraken?
It does look cool though, having these portals kind of come up. And there was Kraken tentacles that came up.
I will never get used to that. Hey,
Ooh, I like his flying helicopter thing.
don't let him get to the boss. Did Dr. Nefarious really research?
Very much an action combat, kind of in the vein of God of War, actually.
I kind of wish he was.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I know you compared it to Crash Bandicoot several times. It definitely looks a lot more complex than Crash, though. Crash is
Yeah.
like,
Crash is purely a platforming
Yeah.
game. It's not really an action game. This is an action platformer usually, at least traditionally, but right now they're focusing mostly on the action part.
yeah, instead of platforms, they have the portals, it seems.
Yeah.
So instead of the jumping, which I am terrible at jumping on those games. So I think I would prefer this, and I think some people will.
That's all of them.
That was a nice clip. They are giving us gameplay, so I do appreciate that. What's next?
Something dramatic.
Do you have any ideas of what games you want to see?
Oh, I can't off the top.
Square Enix. Is this Final Fantasy? Or is this another Square Enix title?
In a world not her own, where resolve will be tested, trust will be questioned, and devotions will be doubted, she will rise.
This is a platformer, action, adventure.
She looks to be some kind of major mission. Project Athia? Or Athia? I'm not sure. Oh.
Definitely a fantasy setting with dragons, and it looked like a giant Cthulhu eye almost.
Designed exclusively for PlayStation 5. Okay. That'll be kind of interesting to see. They didn't give us a lot about it.
That was a teaser for.
Yeah.
Looks like we have a robot in an alley, kind of cyberpunk.
Crumbly
Yeah.
aesthetic of the world. B12. The vitamin that's good to take. Apparently also some studio name. Humans. Rest in peace, humans, it says on the wall. With the robot digging through the dumpster. Oh, there's still cats. Homeless robots.
Yep, it looks like the
No
robots have
escape.
CRT monitors for faces. Almost.
Oh, the cats have backpacks.
So this is post-apocalyptic, and
The humans
very,
are gone. The robots are the characters, it seems.
yeah, very downtrodden, kind of,
Dingy.
yeah, world. Still sticking with the cyberpunk theme.
I like the bright colors though.
Robots in hoodies.
They've
Looks
gotta
like
keep
it
their
takes place
ears
in
warm.
Japan, or at least this cinematic is.
This cat though, I wonder if the cat is the main character? This cat with the backpack? Ooh, that
Stray. It might
it's-
be.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because it shows a logo with a cat
And
and,
it's called
Stray
Stray. Yeah.
is the name.
Okay. 2021 for that one.
Kind of gave me vibes of Little Horrors or something like that. I can't remember what it was called.
Horror?
Little Horrors, I think, or it was a game where you play as like this little character, and then you had to go through this whole horrifying.
That one didn't look like a horror.
No, that wasn't the horror, but
Yeah.
the kind of the aesthetic.
The aesthetic.
Was.
Yeah, it made me think of, like you were saying, the cyberpunk.
Yeah,
horror.
it was like a cyberpunk version
Yeah.
of that Little Horrors, but you would play like this little guy that
It's a
was
ray
in this
trace.
2 3D birth,
Sorry. Yeah.
showing off the controller.
So haptic feedback with this. So it seems like they're trying to add more of the
Adaptive
vibration
triggers.
to
Yeah.
all of the areas. They're showing the controller over like little beads and kind of how the beads are moving around the controller. It seems that they're trying to show.
The headset jack for 3D audio. It has motion control is what they said, which 6-axis was already part of the PlayStation 3.
I am interested in that.
It
3D
uses
audio.
USB-C charging.
Making games used to be about these
This
constant
is
trade-offs
head
between
of
the
Worldwide
artistic vision
Studios,
and technical
Herman
limitations. With PS5, we're not going to be burdened like that. We're going to be able to realize our artistic vision a lot better. It's got a ton of horsepower, which is very easy to unlock, and it's a machine that's really easy to develop on. The PS5 will present a paradigm shift as to what players will come to expect from gaming. Will let us tell stories, make worlds, create gameplay that I think will truly captivate the player and really surprise quite a few people. Please take a look at this new franchise for Worldwide Studios coming exclusively
franchise.
for PlayStation 5.
So they're planning on making a bunch of these. Not just a single game or a new IP, it's a new franchise.
And by these, you mean the games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this game in particular.
A Housemark game or marquee. Mark. I am.
Looks like it's a space game.
I relive my first moments on this alien planet.
Or maybe it's Alien Planet game.
Crash.
Survival, probably.
My death.
You're a lady that crashed on the planet, 2 different color eyes.
The attack. My death. Trapped in this endless cycle.
You're in a loop. A time loop.
Even death is no escape.
Where you keep re-crashing on this planet.
Each time I awake, this planet seems somehow different. As if changing.
I wonder if it's randomly generated or if it's story-based change.
Okay, was that the same map layout but just a different aesthetic on it?
No, I think it was a different layout too.
Oh.
I think it is. Yeah, it is changing.
I spent here.
Which,
aesthetic.
and it would be kind of cool if they use the same map so you're familiar with the space and the layout, but they did change the aesthetic and the features within that.
Yeah, oftentimes what they do is they have what's called tile sets, where these tile sets can have multiple variations, and then they can also take those tiles and mix and match them differently. So anytime you die, the world changes, but it doesn't change completely. Like a lot of the same
To break the cycle.
places are still there, just in different locations. I wonder if it's a roguelike.
Breaks me.
Returnal, okay.
I don't think that's a really good name, but the concept seems cool. And I don't know if it's randomly generated or not, but they did mention it. It did say like it changes every time.
Yeah, it was very much a teaser, just the cinematic, not about gameplay again.
Yeah.
Seems like they're doing that with a lot of them. They're getting ready to release the console first and then the games. Is this a Garfield thing?
It kind of looks like it looks like a Garfield kind of plush cat, but I think it's a soccer game or like one of the
Tony the Tiger?
I think it's a mascot. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a Sackboy. Little Big Planet.
Oh, it's a costume for Little Big Planet. Sackboy's a big adventure. Okay, not Little Big. Is it the same creators though?
I don't know.
It looks like.
I mean, it's the same aesthetic, but it's Little Big Planet, but it's a different
So
game.
this is Sackboy, no, not Little Big.
Yeah, it looks like Little Big Planet, but more of a 3D version. Like, Little Big Planet was 2D, 3D, but now you have this not quite over-the-shoulder angle. It's more of a isometric angle. And we don't know who its studio is, if it is the Creation Studio, because the original studio ended up making that new game, Dreams, which is more of a creation studio than anything. So I wonder if this is a new studio taking over the Little Big Planet IP. Little Big Planet, fantastic game for people that haven't played it. Great for multiplayer.
It looks fun.
Yeah, it looks like the levels are definitely more robust than the original 2D, 3D levels.
It's definitely a platform jumper.
Yes, it's a platformer game over anything else.
Cute. Aw. Yeah, for people that like platformers, that's it. That looks like it'll be a good one.
It's like a racing game again. Maybe it's a fighting game, actually, now that I think of it. It looks like a fighting game.
Cute.
Thunderdome.
Is it a team battle royale?
It does look like a team fighting game.
Oh, they're
no,
in
it's
cars
racing.
now.
It's
okay,
a race.
it's a car crashing.
Yeah, a car crashing game.
Okay.
Battle arena.
So yeah, car battling. Oh, and it looks like you can get out of your car and be running around trying to avoid the cars and this. Okay.
All right.
I like the sloped sides too, and like there are environmental hazards, like a spinning blade.
You know, if LAN parties were still a thing, this probably would be fantastic for that. I don't know how much it's gonna do in this online world, but LAN parties, this looks like. Oh, it looks like there's a lot of parkour action too.
Yeah, being able to
very much
use your environment. Yeah.
Parkour. And it looks like you get abilities for the cars.
Mm-hmm. Those are some fancy cars. Yeah, not only are the walls a little curved, but it looks like you can drive on the walls some.
Mm-hmm. Definitely rammed for walls. Destruction All-Stars.
I meant like not typical gravity for the walls, or some kind of special feature for the car that you can't it's not just driving up at the ramp of it, but it appeared possibly along.
Hello everyone, my name is Josh Greer, and this is my brother Mike.
We're from
Emberlab, a small team with a background in film and animation.
And we're very excited today to share with you the first look at our new game. It's a story full of adventure and charm that has themes in personal growth and redemption. So please enjoy.
So we have kind of tiny people, it looks like, in this kind of tiny world.
Big eyes, that kind of aesthetic.
For your kind. You sense the power that flows through.
Oh, now we have a normal person.
A human, you mean?
Do not fully understand it.
Definitely got some magic there. Oh, yeah. I like that.
Magic arrows.
That was not even an like. Yeah, no, there wasn't an actual arrow. It was only.
And this wizard staff also.
But you cannot hide your weakness from me.
The meditation they keep showing this girl, and it seems that there will be a bigger message.
Power here. Kena.
She's got a little herd of little fuzzy black friends that like these little
almost like
bubbles.
Pikmin. If you ever played Pikmin, it's very similar to you're a human that controls these little
controls
black,
or their
fuzzy.
friends.
Well, yeah, but that's mechanically you control them to move things for you. Very much like Pikmin.
You think you control them? Because I was assuming that they were just independent and she was doing her thing and they were just like...
you're definitely telling them what to do. You don't just...
So it is combat. She is fighting with her staff. But I like that her staff could also shoot those translucent magic arrow things. That was cool. Kena, Bridge of Spirits. Ooh, that sounds...
So it very much seems like a Pikmin kind of game where you're terraforming the land, getting more of these little creatures.
Wait, terraforming the land? I didn't see that at all.
When she destroyed that thing, all the land went from black to green and colored.
Oh, I missed that. So you think it's just like reviving the land, though? Because isn't terraforming more moving the land?
You ever feel like you're
transforming it is.
Okay. Is this something new?
To do that thing you've always meant to do.
We have a drawing
Sometimes
2D
I feel like I'm
kind of
just standing
cartoon,
on the edge of doing
almost like a dating simulator.
Oh, and it's
something
humanoid
animals
creatures
or dinosaurs,
with
humanoid
horns.
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the fear that I'll never be as good as what I imagine when I'm still just standing on the edge. But if we've got nothing else to lose,
goodbye, Volcano High.
Might as well jump.
Okay, so it's about high school humanoid dinosaurs and their story. So far,
it seems almost dating sim-esque and or Life is Strange-esque.
Yeah, like a social thing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't actually see dating in it, but it was definitely looked like a high school social type of thing. And it's called Goodbye Volcano High. It's the end of an era. 2021.
Could also just be a visual novel.
Yeah, that was kind of the feeling I got, and that it's called Goodbye Volcano High, and it's about dinosaurs.
But I mean, there's dating sims of all kinds. Ones about.
I didn't see anyone dating though. It was just social dinosaurs in the high school.
You haven't played a dating sim. You don't know like the aesthetic of how dating sims kind of.
Okay, fair enough.
Hilarious, and the memories should last you a lifetime. Take a look.
Dating sims are mostly just people talking to each other.
Well, how is that a dating sim? That's just a socialization.
Because the goal is to find somebody you like.
But it's not even real.
It doesn't have to be real. It's a simulator, not a for real.
I feel like that would just be socialization then if it's not real.
Oddworld. This is Oddworld that we're looking at.
So this is something that's been around then before.
Yes, Oddworld's a very famous.
Is this aliens or what kind of creatures are we watching?
I can't remember what the creatures' names were called. But essentially, these creatures that you see like climbing up, they used to be slaves to these other creatures with the taller heads, and they escaped before. And Oddworld's a pretty interesting world. if you can't tell already. It looks like, yeah, they're doing another big Escape Oddworld platformer game. Maybe it's even a remake for the new generation. It looks like it could be just an updated version of the old game.
You must find your full voice.
No, Soulstorm. So it is a new game.
Oddworld Soulstorm.
Oddworld, very fun world to play on. I think it was originally an Xbox title though, so it's interesting it's coming now for PlayStation.
PlayStation 5 has allowed us to realize our vision in Tokyo. You will be able to see, hear, and feel the charm of a Tokyo you've never seen before. What we are about to show you is the world's first Ghostwire Tokyo gameplay video.
We hope that you can feel the threat and the beauty hidden in the mysterious and supernatural Tokyo. Please enjoy. Shows Tokyo in the regular world, it seems. But now you're getting images of like this almost haunted version of Tokyo. Or, oh, now you saw like a different plane almost.
Just seems some kind of spiritual world.
Yeah, it definitely has a horror vibe.
Others won't. Meshed with the real Tokyo.
Yeah.
And it looks like you're playing from a human. You're third person behind this human?
It's up to you to save Tokyo.
Oh,
first person. Okay.
And you're fighting supernatural things.
And it's hand, but it's not directly combat. It looks like it's like pressure points and hand gestures that have magical.
Yeah, he's using, kind of almost a martial arts, but it shoots out magic.
Running shadows and symbols that come together to form glowing symbols that form figures or people. Face. It says face what? Face the unknown.
There was some gameplay in there, but it really didn't tell us
Ghostwire
too
Tokyo
much.
coming 2021. Yeah.
It's Bethesda though. But Bethesda's just the publisher. I think a different studio is making it.
You said Bethesda's just a publisher or just the publisher?
The publisher for this
But they
game.
do also make other games?
Yeah, they made Fallout 76.
That's what I thought, okay. I knew there was something big they made. Hey, this looks like Worlds of the Past, perhaps?
Yep, it looks like kind of a tribal...
Oh, maybe not our world, though.
Yeah, the aesthetic feels a lot like No Man's Sky.
Kind of sepia tone, grays. Black and white, mostly.
Yeah.
From Super Brothers. So there were people with, like, capes.
Now
and
it
then
looks
also
like they're shooting off a
technology and
rocket.
machines. Carve out a future for a people.
So I think it's a...
Oh, and they've left the planet now.
Huh.
Haunted by oblivion, propelled by dreams.
I wonder if it's like a
These are a lot of
civilization
ships.
kind of game where you go through civilization.
Year 0. Oh, did they leave their planet to come to the
new planet?
Or nope, now they're leaving. Year 2, Year 3, Year 4, 5, as they're leaving that planet. We just see parts of, there were a number of spaceships all leaving. Years more than 500 years, and now? Ooh, swampy looking.
You're like in
ocean.
a rocket going across this land.
Above, planet. Looking at a different planet.
So it's space exploration game. It kind of like the way that it shows the different
lots of different planet
machines
surfaces
that they're using. Kind of gives me Kerbal Space Program kind of vibes.
So Jet the Far Shore. It looks like it is, like you said, just exploring other planets, but they didn't show any gameplay. It was just like the aesthetic looking at these planets.
Yeah. If it was gameplay, it was very minimal.
Yeah.
Kind of seems more upbeat. Gearbox. Counterplay.
Well, we see some weapons and
Kind of like a action-oriented Dark Souls.
third person.
Yeah, third person kind of game.
Slasher? What do you call this?
Souls-esque is the term that really.
Do you think it's like a very difficult one? Not like a loop, like a.
Maybe it, like the way the aesthetic is, it very seems Souls-esque, where
It's like a brighter Souls game.
Yeah, it's very much more action oriented.
A lot more glowing in colors.
Yeah.
Come Unstoppable. So it's about wanting Hyperion Awaits. It looks like it is about being the most powerful though, again, like just another one of those.
You fight through things to get into fight harder things. Godfall.
Holiday 2020.
Action RPG, almost. Souls-like. Art Machine. Hyperlight Drifter.
Okay. This one's a little more abstract human face.
If you played Hyperlight Drifter, you'll know the aesthetic here.
And this looks like it's in space. Outer space. Like around a black hole even.
Yeah.
Or through a black hole.
Also, if you played Fury, same similar aesthetic.
So the character. The character was addressed by a godlike figure.
You're gonna have to be. Alright, now we're getting to gameplay. Third person. Looks like a platformer again.
Okay. So gravity is definitely not as on
Solar
Earth.
ash. Yep, it looks like is going to be puzzles messing with gravity.
That looks pretty interesting.
Very much like that Shift game that you might have seen.
I did not see
in the past.
That one's 2021 though. I'm not always good at jumping, but I did like the aesthetic and the gravity change in that world. It was intriguing. I already forgot what it was called.
Solar ash or
Ash something.
101, another Hitman game it looks like.
It was always gonna end like this. All your hard work, all your
People
sacrifice,
with guns and lights in the
only
woods.
sped up the process.
Are they police officers or
Yeah, I think they're
detectives?
agents trying to hunt down the hitman. Agent 47.
They've really gotten better at making clothing look like it's moving in a more natural way.
Only death awaits.
Yeah, Agent 47. There goes Hitman 3. Hitman games, the last couple Hitman games have been really fun.
So Hitman's January 2021.
Definitely.
Hacker Nabrak here from IO Interactive. In Hitman 3, Agent 47 is back for his most intimate and professional contract in his entire career. This is also the
intimate and professional. I think those are like
Assassination trilogy.
Mutually exclusive.
I'm so proud to be here to present a little glimpse of the gameplay where Agent 47 is on top of the world in Dubai. Enjoy.
So this looks like some kind of Middle Eastern country, palm trees. It's kind of
this
like
Dubai. He literally said it
Oh,
was
I didn't
Dubai.
hear him say Dubai. I was gonna say it looks like it was inspired Dubai specifically.
Yeah. So it looks like there's a party in Dubai and Hitman's in there to assassinate somebody. Very much like if you played any of the Hitman games, you
So
understand.
that was-
Like you get like this big playground and you have an assassination target and you have so many ways to get to that assassination target. And like you can hide as part of the crowd, hide as part of the worker crew. I wonder if they're gonna show. Oh, they showed like press the PlayStation button.
No, they had something before that said something about health and safety warnings in the menu, but then they didn't elaborate on it. It was just one sentence in the middle of the screen.
So it looks like there's like this almost Mario 64-esque game where you're a little robot guy. What are those? There's a little real-life robot that kind of has that same face. Astro. That's what it is.
Astro's Playroom.
Playroom.
From Japanese studio Team Asobi.
Getting the physical merchandise and games all put together.
Alright, so NeoStream presents.
Looks like a 2D game. Cartoon aesthetic. Kind of almost Viva Pinata-esque aesthetic.
Okay, so it started inside of what looked like a mansion, and then there was a creature chasing outside, jumped off a cliff into the water. Now there's a creature underwater. He's back above land, and there's another creature that he's battling. With rope, string, fishing line,
Oh. Kind of giving
wading through a swamp.
a 2D Dark Souls vibe.
Like a kid version. Ooh, surfing down a sand hill. Riding some kind of creature through away from a sandstorm.
Actually, it's more,
Hunting a
probably more
bear.
of an adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2D adventure.
Inside of a cave. Climbing a rock wall over the abyss. Oh, some kind of in-town. Got definitely like a dark, sort of gothic in-town feel.
And they're going between this old guy in a mansion and this young adventurer.
Great big cave opening with a big old monster below. We'll drop a bomb, see. Okay. And then back to the old man on the toilet dropping some. Okay. To the field. Fighting more creatures. Hiding from gigantic famed creatures. Creatures in dark cloaks. Large winged creatures in lightning storms.
Carrying some guy with a sword and a giant dragon.
Lots of adventure, it looks like.
Little devil inside.
Okay.
Looks interesting. Looks like a fun game.
What's up, everyone? I'm Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans. Here we go. The first ever teaser for NBA 2K21. Y'all are not ready for this.
Oh, I think I'm ready for it because it's NBA. Like, literally.
Well, I don't understand. You really like this kind of game?
No.
You
it's
mean
the
you
same
just don't
game
play?
over and over again. Like, I think everybody's ready for it.
It looks very realistic, very photorealistic. At this point, though, it is just cinematography showing one player dribbling and the sweat on his face. It's the aesthetic, the detail.
That's literally the sweat on the face is the same crutch that they've been using since the Xbox. Like, the original Xbox 360 was like they showed NBA and they showed like I don't know, maybe it was LeBron James or somebody that was dribbling the ball and like you saw this sweat of beads in his face and everybody's like, oh wow, like we never got sweat before. And then now they're using the same sweat thing 20 years later.
20 years later?
Xbox 360, Xbox One, and then Xbox Series X.
So it came out in 2000. I know
Xbox 360 is like 2005 or something.
Okay,
like that.
you might be right on. I could be wrong. I do agree that I'm not really into sport games. It does seem like a lot of the same, and they didn't show us anything.
Yeah, they just showed a guy sweating.
Okay, now this though, a strawberry with eyes running around on the ground.
Using its leaves as feet.
Amazing, aren't they? Half bug, half snack.
Half boglin?
A very recently discovered species, entirely unique to this island. Oh, this one's lively.
Not so werewolf.
No, I think it's a walrus with feet.
Yeah, walrus. That's right. I don't know why I said werewolf.
Wait, his arm just turned into strawberry?
Island of bug snacks.
From the creators of Octodad, Young Horses. Okay, you turn into fruit?
You turn into what you eat.
Okay.
It's a platforming-esque game.
Yeah, subs as
kind of a puzzle
caterpillars, apples, or crabs made out of apples, all kinds of creatures made out of foods and things you can eat. I like the beach aesthetic.
My invitation is open. Come join me on the island of bug snacks.
Liz! Hey, I was trying to carry a lamp with my weenie hands, but I dropped it, and now the town's on fire.
Oh, again?
Bug snacks with an X, snacks. Okay. The perspective is fun to like that close to the ground. These things that are usually small are like half the size of a bush is kind of a fun perspective.
It looked like a little creature came out that went feral, eating a bunch of bug snacks. That might be the main antagonist of the game.
You mean protagonist?
Antagonist.
Oh yes, yes. Of course you're the protagonist. Alright, a lot more of the looking at really up close letters. They really like making us look at the shapes that they use on their controller.
Yeah.
X. Ooh.
As a transition.
Shadows.
Between the two different
lines of a shape.
Hi everyone, thank you for being with us today for this very special event. But before we get to the end of the show,
independent developer.
I have something very near and dear to me.
So there's gonna be a couple more things. One of them is one for him, and then the end of the show.
What is Initiative another company that makes games, I'm assuming?
I don't know.
Okay. Ooh, that's
very
a beautiful
mountain, photorealistic kind of landscape.
That snow, the way the wind is blowing, and the nature.
Yeah, you have the
beautiful.
canyon, and now we have kind of ruins.
And
It kind of
people
looks like
along the
medieval.
beach. People, I should say, people walking along the beach wearing cloaks. but
Dead
in
guy
cloaks.
being held by
The
a
foot,
giant
it
eagle.
looks like of a gigantic. Oh, and it's shadow. We don't see the creature.
Yeah, we just see the
land's
shadow covering the land as if it was a giant.
And the foot was bigger than the human.
Yeah.
That was holding it. Some kind of, oh, it looks like manta ray in the sky. Skeleton robot? What was that?
Skeleton.
Or just armor?
It looks like another Dark Souls, actually. This actually looks like a...
Oh, this does very much look that aesthetic of the dark giant horror beasts. Oh, look at him.
Yeah. Epic monsters. It looks like an epic fantasy. Demon Souls. It is Dark Souls. Demon Souls remake, then? Is that it? Demon's Soul. Is that like a remake of Demon Souls?
Well, but that one big demon at the end, it must mean. Because otherwise it was an S apostrophe.
Demon's Souls was the prequel to Dark Souls.
This is our unique vision.
There was already a game called Demons.
But was it
Souls.
demons, like multiple demons?
I'll have to look it up.
Because this one, there was that gigantic evil looking one, and it was like demon, one demon, their souls. So I wonder if he's like a soulmonger. Something.
Yeah, it was Demon's Souls.
So, oh, it was with the
Oh, wait, hold
apostrophe? Oh, you're gonna.
Yeah, it is a remake. So it's Demon's
Okay.
Souls. So they're remaking Demon's Souls.
Are those fox people nails into your gun? Okay, that's a pretty pond.
The real party doesn't start until he's dead.
Masks. Right?
Oh, this is giving me Bioshock vibes.
Yeah, it does have that aesthetic. That sort of. Ooh.
He shot somebody with that
With his
nail
gun.
gun. Also,
A portal
it's
gun.
giving me Dishonored. He has like this kind of teleport. It's stealth seeming. It seems a lot like Dishonored. Restart Bethesda. A re-looping game, so you can try something and then loop back and try it again a different way.
Part-time loops fun. For everyone else on this island, this place is paradise.
It's a 3D first-person shooter.
Those aren't masks? But wait, they have human hands, but they have these white fox mask-looking faces, but yet they just drank a bottle to that through that mask like it was their real face?
One stubborn motherfucker.
I don't know. So it's a first-person shooter
with portals.
With portals. It spells like Dishonored, like I said.
I don't know what Dishonored.
It's a stealth action.
It's okay.
Midnight. There's just one little snag.
You thought it was going to be easy?
Juliana Blake.
So if somebody's assassinating you while you're trying to assassinate somebody else.
She may kill me 1,000,000 times, but eventually, inevitably, I will break this fucking loop.
And you can, loop through, like I said, showed before.
Rival assassins caught in a time loop. This is Death Loop. If at first you don't succeed, die, again.
Looks fun.
Bethesda. An Arcane Lion production.
I don't like watching you die. I like killing you. There's a difference.
I wonder if it's gonna be multiplayer, or is it somebody else plays as the other assassin?
I don't know. More shapes. X's and squares. Blackness. His story comes to a close.
Oh, I hope Kratos doesn't come to. Oh, I guess maybe they might be in.
A young girl went with her mother to pick berries for her father, who was hard at work. But the forest greeted them with a dark, cold silence. The bushes empty. Yet determined to find the berries, the rascal broke free of Mother's grasp and vanished into the trees. Mother's worried cries faded fast as the girl ran on, over vine, under branch, and into the forest deep.
What is it with that creepy story?
It's just a local tale.
You're really into that stuff?
Quit being so paranoid.
No! Friendly! Friendly! Who are you? Who sent you? What's going on?
Okay, so they're back at what looks like the abandoned homestead, but now there's an old man there.
Yeah, it's a first-person game. There's creatures coming out and bashing through the doors.
Yeah, and when for a minute they flashed to a modern home where it was a woman just sitting in her living room reading.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe in this town there are histories or secrets of the past, some kind of mystery.
Yeah, it looks like a village.
It looked like it had a great mansion and then maybe some second-rate citizen to kind of a royal history maybe? There are seals.
Now it looks like the inside of the mansion we can see a little bit of.
Hmm.
Lots of characters. And humanoids that look part wolf.
I'm not sure what that was.
Village.
Okay, so it definitely has like a ruling castle tower.
8. Resident Evil 8
Oh.
Village.
Interesting.
Chris? Sorry, Ethan. Why?
So it looked like Chris Redfield and Ethan, the character that you played in the first one. Chris Redfield shot his girlfriend that you saved in the first one. And then was looking like it was going to come to you. Which, there is a theory that that might not be Chris Redfield. There is a clone of Chris Redfield.
I haven't played Resident Evil. More shapes!
Alright, now we have this guy in a super suit, almost. Very much a post-militarized world kind of suit.
Or a spacesuit, possibly. For breathing, too. It's definitely got his head covered.
He's in like a New
City.
York-esque
Yeah.
city.
Okay.
And then he has like this division-like hologram. That
Well,
he's able to
he
pull up.
shot something that made particles in the air, and then he turned on a light on his helmet, and it
Mhm.
made it so he could see those particles in the shapes of people.
Now we have a electric hologram cat with a little girl in front of the police escort. I don't know. Anytime you see post-militarized like video games, that's kind of the police suit that they wear.
I thought it looked more like a spacesuit than a military suit, but there's like all these wires and this definitely big invasion-looking thing, and they look at the moon. Is that a spaceship coming, or
It looks
what
like a
is that?
satellite came and
Flying through the air.
destroyed the gravity of the area. Everything's flying up into the air. And the girl has some cybernetics, it seems. and they caught it with space
Okay, so
wire.
they made themselves, they made themselves a sort of protection field, but instead of it being like a transparent field like you usually see, it was a string thing.
Pragmata. And then they got floated into space, and the girl is definitely a cyborg, it seems.
She's breathing on the moon without anything but her coat on.
I don't think she's breathing. I think she's a robot.
Well, yeah, fair. That's what I mean, though. She's not needing to breathe.
Uh-huh. They showed her eyes, for those that didn't see, they showed her eyes, like, doing some computer thing.
Oh,
that
no,
might be
sheeps.
the end of the show, unless there might be more. Oh, looks like there might be one more.
Sony Interactive Entertainment present. Ooh, so we're going from the ocean to these large rocks that have trees growing on them.
Well,
Kind of looks like
archipelago,
yeah. Coming up to what looks like a very lush mountain with crashed plain that's overgrown.
1,000 years ago. Their great cities turned to graves.
So it looks like ancient civilization, but it might be our ancient civilization, post-apocalyptic. After the world takes over, now it's like green and lush.
No, this looks... Oh, I like the aesthetic of this game. The island vibes, the up-close of crabs that look very, very close to photorealistic. The underwater.
Oh, it's Horizon. It's a
Oh?
new Horizon.
A human riding a cyborg creature?
Yeah, if you know Horizon, you know what it is.
Must find a way to stop it.
And she's gonna heal the fox with the plant? Or what is she doing?
Until it destroys us all. There's nothing I wouldn't do to save this world. No depth I won't explore.
So it shows the protagonist from Horizon exploring underwater. She's exploring the old
No secret I won't unlock.
civilization ruins, which would be our present day ruins.
No barrier I won't cross. This mission is mine alone. If I
Horizon,
falter,
very good game.
if
I
I
have
fail,
not played it. I've known
there
of
won't be
it.
anyone left to stop what's coming.
Looks like the guy from Fringe, the black guy. Can't remember what his name is. Forbidden West. And now looks like the faction that you're gonna be against the most has mechanical elephant mounts.
I will be ready.
On behalf of the entire team at Guerrilla, we're happy to share the first look at Horizon Forbidden West.
We're continuing Elga's story as she moves west to a far future America.
To brave a beautiful but dangerous frontier masked with mysterious new threats.
Get ready to explore distant lands ravaged by massive storms.
And take on new, powerful machines as you return
to the majestic world of Horizon.
Stay tuned for much more. We can't wait for you to get your hands on it.
Okay. It seems like that was maybe most of it. Now they're just flashing through the
To look
faces.
forward to for the community. Big fans are going to be really pleased.
As a game designer and storyteller, this is incredibly exciting. We're talking a whole new generation of ideas and experiences that we can create for the player.
No matter where they are, no matter who they are.
New experiences like we've never had before.
More iconic, interesting characters, more atmospheric, immersive worlds for players to explore.
We want to wow players. Expect the unexpected. And I, for one, can't wait.
You can't wait.
We can't wait to share them with you.
It's so exciting.
Incredibly exciting.
It's really about
For the players and for the players.
as a developer, that's an amazing feeling to have.
Welcome to PlayStation 5.
Okay.
And now we go back to the original cube that we looked at, or the cube room, but it's now a black kind of...
It's filled with small,
surface.
tiny black circles. Like foam beads almost.
Yeah.
They look more plasticky, and it's just moving the beads into shapes. Just more art.
It looks cool, but I don't know what...
They do seem to like fill a lot of time during this with just visual art that doesn't give you information. It's frankly not inspiring or helpful. It's honestly, in my opinion, just a waste of time.
Yeah.
And they keep doing it a lot. And they haven't really told us anything about the PlayStation 5 much. Like there was like that tiny visual about the controller shaking some of these beads, but...
In all fairness, oh here, they're gonna show out the design of the PlayStation 5.
It took them a long time to get here.
In all fairness, though, they did have a whole press conference about the chips and stuff that are gonna be in the PlayStation 5 separately. So now we have the design of the PlayStation 5.
So it's white on the outside, and it looks like it's got some black in the middle, kind of like a reverse
like
Oreo cookie.
Some ports in the front, along with 2 USB-A ports, and there still is a disk drive. It looks like.
I guess the other one would have been more informational, but this is not really telling us about
one
it. It's
USB-A
just showing
port,
us.
one USB-C port. No, that's a lot of information. Knowing that USB-C, we know it has a disk drive. We know it has 2 additional ports, unless those are power buttons. We know, So
the controller looks a little redesigned.
Yeah, the controller has been redesigned,
and it looks like they're trying to go for a more ergonomic design.
Yeah. It looks like airflow. They're trying to get a lot of airflow in.
To the body of the console.
Yeah. Oh,
so there's
okay,
2
they have a
different
slim
ones
version that
with
doesn't
no
have
disk
a disk drive. Yeah. Digital edition versus the PlayStation 5.
Okay.
Alright. Dual sense wireless controller. Is it charge
When they
station?
say dual sense, what are the 2 things it's sensing? What do they mean?
The dual sense.
Media remote. Sorry.
I'm not. The dual sense is a new. A new brand that they came out with, the PlayStation 4 controllers, so they're called dual sense.
I mean, I know that, but you don't know what the 2 things are, because dual means 2.
And you've seen games that can
I'm not sure what the 2 things are.
Because
they
don't
just call them.
explain it, right? They just they're like, "Ooh, look at this! It's so pretty," and then they don't explain
Well,
why.
that's because they had a whole press conference talking about the insides, right? This is all about
I
the
haven't
outside.
seen that, so
Yeah, because that one's incredibly boring.
But this is. Why wouldn't they make a hybrid that's informational and interesting?
We didn't hear anything that guy said, so
No.
maybe he even answered some of those questions. I don't think he did, though.
I mean, personally, this has felt more like a commercial than anything informational.
It is. It's supposed to be just showing off the new PlayStation and the games that are coming with it.
Okay. I misunderstood what we were watching today.
now they're going through a highlight reel of everything that we just saw.
Oh, I did have a question because when they see, but right there they showed the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5. Okay, but here now they're showing like the HD camera, the wireless headset pulse, the media remote. But they're not being clear. I'm assuming that doesn't all come with everyone.
Those are not going to come with it. Those are just accessories that are going to be additional if you want them. The camera is probably going to be helped with the VR because they are going to continue VR in this generation. The media remote, so that you can just use the remote to change channels, things like I'm not sure what to use it as a media controller because if you use Netflix on your PlayStation and things like that. Headphones, every game system has their own headphone system.
Yeah, no, they are doing just a highlight reel, clips of games.
Yeah. So what did you like? What game or part of it?
I don't remember all of them.
You don't need to remember all.
Well, I know, but just because they've just shown clips of the ones that they're showing clips right now, and it's reminding me. I thought the one that I think you called Horizons.
Horizon.
With like the beach aesthetic and exploring the civilizations. I thought that one looked really cool. The Spider-Man one I think also looks really cool. I can't remember. I think there were one or two other ones that I thought, oh, I'd play that. Maybe even 2 or 3. I just don't remember what they were. Did you have any in particular that you thought?
Yeah, Spider-Man definitely looked cool. I think I was hoping for a God of War reveal, but it didn't have any God of War reveal for that. Horizon's cool. I haven't played the first one yet either. It's kind of one of those ones that when I get a version of it, maybe off of PlayStation Plus, then I'll play it. But it's not like my jump to right when it comes out game. Those are generally the two. The other ones seemed like cool games, but again, like not jump at and get them right when they come out.
Well, I mean, you know that I'm not that way about any game.
Spider-Man, I would jump out and get it right when it comes out because that.
Yeah.
We did.
Of all of the games, that is the one that sticks in my mind as if you're gonna pick one, that would have been the one I would have picked.
Yeah, there's Spider-Man just fun. Like even doing nothing in that game,
just swinging around.
Yeah,
I haven't played a modern Spider game, but there was one I played a long time ago that was
Spider-Man 2.
Just swinging. I don't even remember.
Spider-Man 2, the original, from the movie game, right? Like it was based off of the movie Spider-Man 2, but that was a fantastic game. And then we didn't really get a Spider-Man like that.
Did they say something about adaptive knobs? Because again, I thought they flashed those 2 words on the screen, but then they didn't actually say anything about it. They didn't show how it can be adapted. I do feel like that conference, like, yeah, we already watched it, and this is obviously our reaction to it. My reaction is that it's kind of a waste of time to watch because it was just a giant commercial.
I mean, it wasn't a waste of time. You got to watch all of the games that are coming out.
That
was the whole point of it, though, was it is a giant commercial.
Yeah, but I'd rather watch more concise clips of the videos I get. My opinion is that they wasted so much time in it. Like, it wasn't an efficient commercial, and it wasn't very informative. It was just...
It was informative if you were looking to know what games it was coming
informative
for the PlayStation.
In ways that you maybe think are informative, but not informative enough to me. I didn't think that it was, like, to me, the amount of information I got from the amount of time I had to spend was nowhere near worth it. And I know that I'm not interested in video games, and I just generally don't spend a lot of time playing video games. But, yeah. Oh, you're looking to see about the adaptive controller thing?
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
So I wonder with the DualShock thing, my thoughts are that they went from calling it DualShock, because when something like shocking or surprising happens in the game, that they were giving you in both sides of the controller that vibration feedback. So that's why they used to call it DualShock. But now they've called it Dual Sensing, or sensor, which I don't really get, because is the controller actually sensing? So I wonder, do they mean like up and down? But if it's dual sensing, do they mean it has a gyroscope and so it's sensing? But wouldn't they say 3D sensing if it was like the movement in space of the controller?
I don't think it's based off of what the controller is actually sensing. Here it says, our goal with DualSense is to give gamers the feeling of being transported into the game world as soon as they open the box. So they're trying to, it's like an advertising slogan of giving you dual sense of the game between audio and feedback, right? Like, so they have the new 3D audio that they mentioned and the haptic feedback, making you feel like you're more in the game. That's like their kind of advertising. They're using their namesake for the controller as an advertising mechanism.
Am I wrong though that dual means 2?
Dual means 2. It also means like a.
Because you've already got audio visual, so if they're adding kinesthetic feedback or like the vibration to your hands,
but
then it wouldn't be dual sense.
The visual is not part of the controller, right? This is the DualSense controller, so it's giving you 2 senses. The audio, they're putting 3D audio into the controller when you plug your headphone jack.
So the 2 senses they're saying are coming out of the controller are the audio and then the vibration feedback?
Yeah. The haptic
okay,
feedback.
that makes more sense.
That's kind of, but I think it's also because they have DualShock, and they need to keep that. They need to maintain that branding. So when they move from DualShock to DualSense.
Yeah, interesting. And then did you find out about the adapted? Did they say anything about having adapted knobs on the controller?
Here.
Because that would be really cool. I know we've seen like Windows and some other aftermarket adaptations for controllers, and I think that's something that these companies really should be focusing on making so that they are more accessible for more people.
They said adaptive triggers.
Okay, what do they mean by that, I wonder?
How DualSense controller is changing L2 and R2.
Oh, so okay, L2 and R2 being the triggers at the bottom. Okay, so
last night we got
adaptive triggers. But if they're only adapting the triggers, I imagine that what they're adapting is limited. I'm gonna let you keep reading and see. But at first I was hoping that they meant that it was for the knobs that you use with your thumb.
So you're thinking of adaptive as an OT.
Right.
They're talking that adaptive as scaling. So from what I'm reading here, it sounds like instead of a trigger being literally a trigger, whether it's on or off, the amount of pressure you put on the trigger is going to be now put into effect. So
it's literally making it harder to access, maybe for some people. It will help some people because it's just the like. That's not really very
here, they talked about when you're drawing a bow, you could do quick draws.
I don't think they should be calling that adaptive. I don't think they should be calling that adaptive.
That's because you're an OT.
That's such a narrow. Wow. Like,
no, it's not narrow.
No, but they're using too broad of a term for such a narrow thing. Like, it's very narrow, the adaptation they made. Like, it's not.
You're looking at it from an OT field. You're not.
It's just disappointing after they call it that, and then it's this shit, and it's like, oh. Okay.
You separated out that nobody, thinks of adaptive in the way that OT does.
There, I won't say that we should be overgeneralizing to say everyone, and yes, to some degree, you're probably right. But why aren't we all pushing for more universal design? I also think if they're gonna try to make something that is even if they just made 3 different size controllers, right? A small one for children, because some children have small hands. A larger one, like medium size one, akin to like close to what the size they use, even maybe slightly smaller. And then a large one that is about the size they have or slightly bigger for people who have big hands, because not everyone has the same size hands. And it's just like in OT, we break crayons and we break pencils because a larger tool is harder to manipulate for a large tool is hard for small hands to manipulate. If you think about physics and torque, it's just so basic. I do like that they have tapered the handles on the control so that when you're gripping it, you've got the power side of your hand closer to that fisted stabilizing support. It's still pretty wide looking, which isn't terrible. I do think they need to do a lot more work on their controller, and I think that, to me, the idea of sitting and watching them just advertise for over an hour and then hearing that they've done almost no significant, meaningful changes to the controller from my perspective, it's disappointing. I will say that.
The controllers at this point have been through about 5 iterations. There's not going to be a massive change, because especially for PlayStation, because theirs are considered the most ergonomic controllers by science data.
But did you hear my
I heard
simply making a smaller and a bigger version because people's hands aren't all the same size.
Let me address those 2 issues, right? So PlayStation is not going to do that themselves, because that would require another manufacturing, more sizes and things like that. They're going to do one controller. But if you want to get a Mad Catz controller,
what's Mad Catz?
It's a third-party controller.
Can you show me yet?
Mad Catz.
I want to see a Mad Catz controller. I don't know what that is.
It's just a third party. It's not anything special. Let's do PS or control. It's just like a third-party controller that but any third party could make a controller for.
So here's the thing: you say any third party could, but look at this. They're all the same old thing, basically. This is a Street
Fighter pad. I don't know why it's showing.
A lot of them are just the same, very similar. And so when you have individuals that have differences in their motor coordination and their dexterity and their intrinsic muscle use,
but you're looking
or they lack fine motor control, then there should be alternatives so that they can access these games. And it's very frustrating that a company can go literally decades with such minimal consideration for a universal design. And I'm not just ragging on games, because this is true throughout all industries.
But they're not looking for that is the universal design. Okay. And then if you need specific instances, there are companies that do that. Xbox actually created the adaptive controller, right? If you look at the adaptive controller.
Was it Xbox? I thought it was... Oh, Xbox! I was thinking it was Windows earlier. So yes, Xbox. I do like theirs. But see, is it compatible with PlayStation, though, if it's Xbox?
Yeah, it's just the controller.
Okay.
It's branded... This Xbox, one is branded by Xbox. But the thing is, Xbox is more than just the game console. It is Microsoft, and it is
That's
all
why
these
I thought
things.
it was Windows Microsoft. It's because Microsoft owns Xbox, and Xbox made this adaptive
So
controller.
they can build these things.
Ooh! I've never seen that before either. I like it.
This is a 3D printed thing that some guy did.
Oh, that's not what I thought it was, though. It's a mini steering wheel.
Yeah, it's a mini steering
wheel. I thought it was a key guard, because again, some of our individuals that have difficulty with motor coordination, when we give them a keyboard, we give them a key guard because they need that guide to be able to hit the thing. And so I'm sure you could 3D print something along those lines, having guards, but it's just there. In my opinion, there should be more more efforts to make
adaptive
stuff and make it more accessible.
I think they are. I think they are building towards that. Here you have adaptive push buttons. Here's like kind of a schematic of how you can build it out, the controller. Oops, I did not mean to. But yeah, there's many. Microsoft has the funding to do this. PlayStation doesn't have. Is literally just the console at this point.
Okay. Since I am glad that Microsoft is doing it, and since they are, the need isn't as big. I hadn't seen this one of their additional add-ons. Yeah, I haven't seen those add-ons. Those are great. Huge props to, is it Microsoft? Is that the company?
Yeah, Microsoft.
Yeah. I like it.
Here, somebody was able to adapt it to plug into the Switch.
Yeah, see? But it shouldn't be so hard to adapt, because seriously, the amount of time and difficulty and money that so many people face just trying to access the same basic things that we do is incredibly frustrating. All right, I like that. They also use Big Mac buttons with the Microsoft adapted. I like that, so that you've got, like, if you've only got.
If you look at the controller, it's bunch of 3.55 millimeter jacks.
Okay,
so anything that you can plug into a 3.5 millimeter jack.
So what I'm going to say now is, since Microsoft has that the adaptive controller and the little clips and buttons, and we know that there are also other companies that have made some of these things, I think the next big thing that we really need to see is all of these things in a place where you don't have to spend, each individual or team doesn't have to spend hours fishing around trying to find the right components. If we can have all of the information in one place and the options in one place, that would be so much better. And I'm not saying that Microsoft has to do that, or PlayStation. It could be a third party, because obviously these aren't all made by any one company. It'd be ideal, though, to have them accessible.
So here on the Microsoft site, you have the adaptive controller, and then you have accessories. You can get the gaming kit, which has, it looks like a bunch of buttons that you get right then and there.
So buttons and triggers. Okay. Oh, and they do have, it looks like, is this Microsoft Store? Microsoft does have Big Mac switches. They call them big red switches.
Yeah.
And they're only $35, which, here's the crazy thing. 6 years ago when I started as an OT...
That's 30% off at $65.
Oh, you mean it's 50%. I was going to say, usually those big buttons, literally, it's just a button. You push like a giant button, and it just activates a smaller button. When I started 6 years ago, the absolute cheapest you could find a Big Mac button was $50. And that's the insanity of adaptive equipment. Like the simplest things. It's so frustrating.
You have the leg mount here. You have a claw mount for putting in an armchair.
So Microsoft actually does have quite a whole selection.
Foot controller.
Oh, they partnered with AbleNet, or are they just
Yeah, a lot of these are actually made by other
So
partners.
Microsoft does have, so how do people get to this place?
So if you just search adaptive controller on
Xbox adaptive controller.
Yeah, Google.
They've been okay. I'm loving Microsoft right now. Obviously I've already liked them over Apple for their computer stuff, and obviously we have a PlayStation instead of an Xbox. But looking at they do have literally what we've been needing as far as adaptive controllers. I think it took a long time to get here, but this is an exciting start. Actually, I didn't know that this, because the adaptive controller came out a year ago?
Couple of years ago, I think.
I only learned about that within the past year myself. But at any rate.
Yeah, I'll turn this off here.
Okay, Google, dismiss.
That means the end of our stream here.
I got to
2018,
go.
though. September 4, 2018.
Okay, so it's been a year and a half. Nope, I didn't.
And, yeah, I mean, Microsoft has been very pro-consumer for the most part lately. And the competition between PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X is going to be tough. PlayStation has a lot of exclusives that are coming, as you just saw. Most of those were PlayStation exclusive games. And on top of that, God of War, which we didn't even see.
Is Spider-Man exclusive to?
Yep.
Yeah. That was okay.
Yeah, it'll be a tough battle between Xbox and PlayStation this next generation. PlayStation 4 beat out Xbox last time. Xbox 360 beat out the PS3 though, so who knows?
I do have one, I guess, final thought on the new PlayStation 5, the digital versus traditional, with having the disc drive versus not. So I would imagine that for the digital one, I wonder if you always have to have internet to play it, or if it's such that you can download a title and then never connect to the internet, or will it do that thing where it deletes it after 30 days? Will you run into problems like that?
It probably will have, as most digital stores have. If you do, you can play it offline, but you will need to reconnect every 30, 60, 90 days or whatever, or maybe even a week sometimes some places have, to reconfirm what you have. It won't delete it off your console, but you just, if it hasn't connected to the internet in a while, it'll probably say, well, okay, that's different. That is for subscription model things.
But you're
if
speaking
you
versus
it,
when you own it.
Yeah, if
I was
you
gonna
bought
ask
it,
that.
you would just have
always.
Always.
So if it's a subscription model, then you would need the internet. But if you're only connecting to the internet to buy, outright buy, and then download, it would be
that's
okay.
yours.
And then, of course, if you don't have internet, or if you're in an area where internet can be hard, or you want that option to use discs, of course, that they didn't drop a price that I saw anywhere for any of it at all.
They have not set a price on it.
Interesting.
Let's see if we can fish out the...
And this is for release in the holiday season?
Yes.
Of 2020 here?
Yep.
All right.
Sony hasn't confirmed any price, but predictions are about $500.
Okay. That seems on par with what they've been doing for those consoles. Maybe a little more. Wasn't the last one like $4?
More. Yeah, I think it's about $100 more.
And when you think about it, like, okay, if a lot of people make like $50,000 a year, this is like 0.5% of their income for just the console. And if you make less than 50, say you only make $25,000 a year, buying one of these consoles is 1% of your income. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of people that are in that boat, but it ends up being their primary entertainment. Anyways, I don't want to get into to income. It's a time for me to go to my meeting, so.
All right. Have a great one, guys.
Take care.
We will see you next week.